When you think of RMC Topper Track Woodies, what do you think of? You think of this one, you think of that one. Not that one. What do all these have in common? Well, they're all generally considered to be some of the best wooden coasters out there. Not you. They're also old. I say old, but I don't really mean that old. But with a company that's been popping off as much as RMC, not seeing one of these is kind of a big deal. Like, the last RMC Topper Track Woodies we saw were Lightning Rod and Wildfire in 2016. We haven't seen any more of these since then. You know how many coasters RMC has built, or at least announced to be built, since 2016? 11. That's a lot of coasters. So to go 4 years without building a single one of their only 3 models, it's certainly interesting to say the least. So today I want to answer the question of, is the RMC Topper Track dead already? If I'm going to be honest, guys, I think it is. And there's a lot of reasons why. First of all, the only reason RMC made the Topper Track was so parks could market it as a wooden coaster. RMC themselves have said how they like the eyebox track better and how they prefer using it, and how the only reason they made the Topper Track was for marketing purposes. If that doesn't already raise red flags, then you really need to think about that a little harder. Another reason is that parks are willing to market things as hybrid coasters. Like I just said, the main point of the Topper Track was marketability, but now that hybrid coasters are like an actual thing, parks are willing to market their hybrids as hybrids. Cedar Point marketed Steel Vengeance as the tallest, fastest, longest hybrid coaster. Cedar Point. If Cedar Point does it, then everyone will follow. Another reason is that these are harder to maintain. Even though they're unique and different, they're still wooden coasters. If you take away Lightning Rod's launch, it's just a terrain Woody. No fancy inversions or nothing. Just another Woody. So yeah, it's gonna age as if it was another Woody. Maintenance that goes into them is probably exponentially more than the eyebox coasters. Also, Lightning Rod had technical difficulties. Yeah, I think I'll say that. That seems fair. I don't know if that's because it's wooden or not, but when the first wooden coaster with the launch was down more often than not for its first year, it definitely raises some red flags. Another reason is that the wooden market is getting more competitive. When RMC started, they were like the only manufacturer designing inversions into their layouts. Yeah, Gravity Group went back and put an inversion into Hades, but Outlaw Run had the inversions from the start. So RMC Topper Tracks were like the hot item that everyone wanted. Well, not everyone, but like Herschend wanted one, Six Flags wanted one, Kolmården wanted one. But now that Gravity Group is putting inversions into their layouts, like it's just no effort, and even GCI has announced an inverting model, the Topper Track almost seems like old news, obsolete maybe. And with parks now willing to market things as hybrid coasters, it's really easy to just choose the hybrid coaster. Another thing we have to take into account is the fact that they're building from the ground up. Hybrids used to be exclusively conversions, like that was the main appeal. You take something old and make it new, that's just how it worked. If you wanted something from the ground up, you asked for a topper because that's how RMC operated. We even thought that Zadra would be a topper because it was from the ground up. But no, it was the first hybrid that was right from the ground up. And that right there, I think, is the nail in the coffin for the Topper Track. If Zadra was a topper, or even if it was just never built altogether, then I don't think any of this other evidence would be strong enough for me to really make an argument that RMC is done building Topper Tracks. But the fact that they're building hybrids from the ground up really shows me that they're ready to move on. I'm not 100% sure, but I think if we saw a terrain eyebox track, then I would be 100% sure. I'd say right now I'm like 92% sure. Also, there was that planned topper for Six Flags Dubai, or at least it looked like an RMC. You could say that's a ground up hybrid, but if you ask me, it just looks a lot like a clone of Goliath. But since those plans fell through, there are currently no plans for an RMC topper, or even rumors for any that I can think of off the top of my head. Combine that drought with the increased competition, higher maintenance costs, and the own company almost deeming it obsolete themselves by just delivering a better product, and you've got a dead coaster concept. I truly believe that the Topper Track has died, and it's almost a little sad. Unlike other great coaster concepts that have seemingly died off, the Topper was a great model that didn't really have a chance to show itself. Sure, 3 out of 4 of the toppers are considered top tier RMCs, but for some reason, parks just wouldn't bite. And it's really sad. It reminds me a bit of the Intamin Prefab. Great model that has 3, maybe even 4 of the best coasters of its class, but parks just didn't want to buy it for some reason. I like the Topper, but it just didn't get its chance to shine. I think if the Topper was made by any other manufacturer, it would be a smash hit. And even some Gravity Group coasters remind me of Topper Track Woodies. But this is RMC we're talking about. You're competing with the eyebox track and the Raptor track. it's really hard to stay relevant. But what do you guys think? Do you agree? Tell me in the comments down below. There's a lot to unpack here, and I certainly don't want people to just forget about the topper. As always, if you liked the video, then give it a thumbs up, and if you loved it, then hit the subscribe button so you won't miss anything else. Thanks for watching, y'all, and I'll see you next time.